Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 14th of October, 2018. We want to start off this show, like Leah was just doing, with a little bit of, because you know what, it's fun. And that's really the only reason why. I think this is from 2017. I don't understand how it has existed this long and we've never seen it.
Okay, so Taylor Swift came out the other day, and this is the EU Euro news.
Yeah.
Stick with us. We are going to cover that, but we're going to cross over some news because Trump helped get a Christian pastor, American Christian pastor, freed from Turkey.
Yes.
That's our big news. It's very exciting, and it should be smiling. Yay! But while people are coming,
while y'all getting here,
let's giggle a little bit because Taylor Swift came out in support of this Democrat. Oh my gosh, Tennessee, where Marsha Blackburn, a huge Trump-supporting Republican, is running. Well, all the celebrities were like, "Way to go, good job, that took courage," and then Marsha Blackburn's numbers went up. Nobody, I think his name is Brunson or something like that. No, like seriously, that was a bad move. And what's actually really funny about it is you have this rich white girl,
right,
stumping for a rich white guy,
and not the woman.
I know.
Aren't we supposed to just vote for women just because they're women? Mm-hmm. Isn't that the like rallying cry that we have to do?
All right. So while everybody's coming, let's just start today shaking it off.
That's right. Shake it off.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I stay out too late.
He does.
Got nothing in my brain.
Too many.
That's what people say. Mm-hmm. That's what people say. Mm-hmm. I got all too many days, but I can't make them stay. At least that's what people say. Mm-hmm. That's what people say. Mm-hmm. But I keep cruising. Can't stop, won't stop moving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. Cause we're gonna sort of play. And the heat is gonna heat. Baby, I'm just gonna shake. I shake it off. Heartbreaker's gonna break. And the faker's gonna fade. Baby, I'm just gonna shake. I shake it off.
Okay. That's really not even long enough. So at the end of the show, we're doing that again. Just so you know. Because that is absolutely too much fun. I can't even stand how much fun that was. I don't know. It's too much fun. It is too much fun. Maestro. I should have plugged
his channel.
Whoever it is, because he does other ones. Where can I just? All right, Maestro Zikos, ZII.
Way to go, Maestro Zikos.
Way to go, my friend.
All right, so Monday is a Brexit deadline of sorts, and Boris Johnson says that this Chequers plan is worse than the Sue. This is me gonna bring up the article.
You say Sioux, and I think there's the Sioux Indians. You can sue someone. There's women named Sue.
This is me not knowing what that means. But it's British history.
Okay.
And I'm guessing it's a big battle.
Okay, the battle of the
it's like
Sioux.
a really big battle.
Right, oh.
Yes.
Good chap.
I'm sure of it.
Absolutely.
I'm sure of it.
Yes.
American education and British history leaves a little bit to be desired. So, if you didn't already know, developments related to the ongoing negotiations over a Brexit agreement outline negotiations that, as far as we know, have been an unmitigated train wreck, should almost engender pity for the UK Prime Minister Theresa May and the impossible situation which she finds herself now. Now, I finally got a grasp of the straw man argument that supposedly is trying to keep the UK in the customs union.
Okay.
So they keep saying the border with Northern Ireland,
Right.
and I finally understand what they're saying. Basically, they're saying, I live in Ohio. I want to be able to go back and forth to Indiana.
I get it.
Okay? So with Northern Ireland, they want to make sure that there's no customs unit or customs situation set up, so people can just go back and forth and trade back and forth. There's no issue there.
Right.
Well, Brussels is making it a big issue. Okay? And Theresa May says, well, if we don't want that hard border, like if I'm trying to go to Indiana, if I don't have to go through all these customs checks, right? If we don't want that hard border with Northern Ireland,
right,
then we, as the entire UK, both England and Scotland have to stay within the whole customs union of the EU, which pretty much essentially is a no Brexit.
Right.
Okay. The idea was that you could so that the UK would make trade deals with all the other European nations, but Northern Ireland is part of the UK, so it shouldn't need to make a trade deal with itself.
Right.
Okay, so it's a bit tricky there. All right. Let's see. Without a parliamentary majority to fall back on, May has been caught between warring demands of a fractious Conservative caucus and EU leaders who are seemingly unsympathetic to the UK's plight. I believe that cold amphibian blood flows through the leadership of Brussels. They literally do not care.
Right.
They do not give a horse flying poop. Indeed, the poor girl, who for the past few months has been laboring under the threat of internal mutiny. We've had several people resign.
James Jameson says, you got it, girls. The Irish are the EU SSR stooges.
Never really had much of a chance to begin with, as the bewildering process of squaring the myriad opposing interests involved in the negotiations from the pro-Remain Labour MPs, on whom she must ultimately depend for a modicum of support, to the Brexit hardliners who oppose anything suggesting that the will of the 17.4 million voters who supported leaving the EU could be ignored. To the EU leaders sensitive to undermining the integrity of the single market could be compared favorably to being stretched across the rack. And in the latest development, threatening to roil UK markets on Monday, as the possibility that negotiators will meet the self-imposed deadline. We're proposing an elusive draft political statement. The Guardian reported on Sunday that EU leaders are prepared to abandon a November conference where the agreement, which will in reality likely take the form of a vague political statement again, was supposed to receive the final sign-offs from both sides before heading to a vote to the EU Parliament, the UK and Dublin. In this place, the EU leaders are considering holding a summit to hash out a plan for an extraordinary no-deal Brexit.
I like what Straight White Guy says. She can't dance her way out of this one. Very true.
Reports about the possibility of an emergency summit followed another round of conflicting reports about the status of a deal, with reports that a draft agreement had been reached, were once again immediately followed by anonymously sourced reports contrary. So, still don't know anything. These reports closely followed an editorial published by Arlene Foster, the leader of the Northern Ireland's Democratic Unionist Party, claiming that her bloc would oppose any agreement, leaving open the possibility that any substantive borders could arise between Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK. A possibility that Foster said would be tantamount to the annexation of Northern Ireland by the EU, which is funny knowing Irish history. We don't want to leave. We don't want to leave. We don't want to leave. Keep us there. It's really, funny. All right.
Is that your Irish accent?
No, it wasn't an Irish accent. It was just funny.
But that's what you meant, though. But
yeah,
the Irish historically have been like, hey, we're independent. We're sovereign. And now they're like, hang on. We want to be with the EU. We want to stay.
Northern Ireland has,
historically
wanted to be part of the UK. This development has apparently shattered EU negotiations' willful illusion that May might be able to unite Parliament around an agreement that the continent would also find palatable. What's worse, these last-minute difficulties arose after both sides had leaked a draft agreement that had nearly been reached. So, hey, no, just kidding. In response to concerns over May's ability to hold her government together and push through a deal, however, the EU is now planning an alternative use for the November summit, should it be required. The bloc's deputy chief negotiator, Sabine Weyand, had told the EU ambassadors gathering in Luxembourg on Friday that talks were progressing well and that results might be made public as early as Monday, when senior EU diplomat said the wedding knot is tied. The two negotiating teams were due to make an assessment of the state of play on Sunday evening. A leaked EU planning document obtained by the German newspaper said deal made, nothing made. Public in theory. May's volatile domestic situation remains the greatest risk to a deal. Internal government emails leaked to the Observer revealed on Sunday that the DUP leader, Arlene Foster, had previously let it be known that following a hostile and difficult meeting with the EU chief negotiator, Barnier, last week, that she was now ready for a no-deal scenario. She said she regarded it as the likeliest outcome, so everybody's preparing themselves for no deal. Mrs. May has said that leaving the customs union is non-negotiable. And the deal is expected to be premised on Britain ultimately pursuing an independent trade policy. So we shall see. As a reminder, here's a timeline of the important Brexit-related dates and a summary of 4 different possible outcomes once Brexit Day, set for March 29. The last business day of the first quarter, arrives. Okay, so here we have October 17th and 18th is supposed to be a summit in a few days, an EU summit. November, there's a potential emergency summit, backup summit.
But there's no date set for that. That's only in case of an emergency.
Yeah, then December, there's the last European Council. In March 30th is a transition phase and trade talks. March 29th, 2019 is Brexit Day. Are you all planning any sort of party? Until March 29th, supposed to be ratification. January 2019, Commons approval. December 31st, 2020 is transition phase ends. And December 30th, 2020, UK's exit from the EU has to be complete or the UK falls back to its backstop.
Wow.
So, there you have it. It's not surprising the EU is moving ahead with this badly needed contingency planning. What is surprising, however, is that it took them this long, though we imagine they held off to avoid any damaging leaks that could have further destabilized May's already tenuous grip on power. With nearly all the difficulties over the negotiation arising from the UK side, it's worth asking at what point will the UK's continental partners simply throw up their hands and walk away? I don't know. I don't think so. They really want as much hold as they can over the UK. They're happy to see Theresa May dancing. They're happy to see everyone kind of going crazy over there. They're happy
in the chat. They would like to see Trudeau and May do a dance-off. I think that could be enjoyable. Maybe somebody could put together like a little video footage, kind of like that the Maestro guy did, something like that.
So speaking of Brexiteers, you guys have an MP, a Labour MP, and his name is Barry Sheerman. Raise your hand in the chat if you've ever heard of Barry Sheerman. He is a real stickler for crime. This Labour MP claimed to have reported a Twitter user stopped the EU to parliamentary authorities and the police for criticizing a Remain-supporting Tory MP. But the Speaker's office and the Metropolitan Police and his local force all deny that they have received such a report. So this man is 78 years old, Barry Sheerman. He leapt to the defense of Anna Soulbury, 61, when grassroots Brexit activists took the Tory MP to task for campaigning to overturn or at least rerun the 2016 referendum on Britain's membership of the European Union. Anna Soulbury, actively working on behalf of a foreign power and against the biggest democratic mandate in British history, Anna has no respect for her constituents or the manifesto pledge to leave, on which she stood in 2017, he wrote, in reference to the fact of Soulbury's constituency of Broxtowe that backed Brexit. Now, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal, okay? I can't imagine that was a very kind and well-mannered a reply. But Sheerman, who is some kind of crazy idiot, I have no idea. He literally tweeted out, "I have reported this tweet to the Speaker of the House of Commons and to the police." And so people are saying things like, I don't agree with the politics to stop the EU, but what exactly have they done that requires police intervention? They simply are stating what they think about an elected MP. Is their right? Somebody else said, you should be charged with wasting police time. What you're actually advocating is a complete cessation of any exchange or debate you personally disagree with on Twitter, with the threat of police action. Honestly, what a complete coward you are. Feel free to report me to the police. While you're at it there, Baz, can you report yourself for stupidity? Was the response from Stop the EU. The fact that anybody in the government, and I'm saying this like worldwide because here in America, we've had senators saying Alex Jones has got to go, and then everybody else has got to go. And like, seriously, this is what we call government censorship.
Right.
And I've been really wanting to talk about this because it's worldwide, and people are saying that like Google and Twitter and Facebook can do what they want, censor who they want, take people off. But here's the thing: Twitter and Facebook weren't censoring people on their own.
Right.
After the election, when the Democrats came to Facebook and said it's your fault because they looked and saw all the articles that everybody was sharing against Clinton,
right.
It was not necessarily a pro-Trump sharing of information. It was an anti-Hillary Clinton. It was Pizzagate, and it was some nefarious people out there who were making things up. But you know what? You have a right to make things up.
Yes.
You have a right to tell stories. How many stories do they tell about Donald Trump every single day? You know what I mean? So to see the government, this is the government coming after you.
This is totalitarianism.
Yeah, using Twitter as a means of trying to, shut people down. But I want you to know that what they accuse you of is really what they are guilty of. Because I guess this Sherman guy is no stranger to harsh words, having used Twitter to denigrate Scottish Tories Michael Gove and Ruth Davidson as conspirators and insult Brexit-supporting backbencher Jacob Rees-Mogg as odious and slithering. So,
you know what? You have the right to call people whatever you want.
Right.
Like that is your right. That's a human right.
Right.
I mean, seriously.
Right.
Unfortunately, you can even curse at people, and that's your right. Now, Facebook and Twitter may have community guidelines as far as the language that you're allowed to use.
But that would be applied across the board.
Well, you can't just say here's the deal. You can say you can't use these words, okay, the curse words that we're all used to, but you can't say you can't hate on somebody.
Right.
Okay? Like, seriously, if you say to somebody like, hey, that person dresses too good for their, for however they should dress, and I don't like that they do that. Well, that's hating on somebody, and you just complimented them at the same time.
Right. All right. So Boris Johnson, widely seen as the Brexit wing of the Tory party's greatest hope to oust Theresa May and take control of the Brexit negotiations, has warned implementing her proposed deal with the EU would be Britain's greatest national humiliation since Sue.
What is this? How do you spell it? S-U-E-Z.
Yeah, writing for the Belfast newsletter, the former Foreign and Commonwealth Secretary argued that the fatal error of Theresa May and her team was their failure to challenge the EU's position that the only way of avoiding a hard border on the island of Ireland, an objective we all share, is for Northern Ireland to have the same regulations for trade as Ireland and the rest of the EU. Theresa May has committed herself to maintaining the current open, customs-free border, blah, blah, blah. He says, the government well understands how weak the backstop makes its future negotiation hand. If we let this go, it will be the greatest national humiliation since the Suez Canal.
It's a seaport city.
Yeah, won the former two-time London mayor, referring to the British French intervention against the Egyptian government seizure of the Suez Canal in the 1950s.
All right, the Suez Canal. Now we're getting.
I was thinking it was the Suez Canal.
Okay, it's in northeastern Egypt, located on the northern coast of the Gulf of Suez, near the southern terminus of the Suez Canal, having the same boundaries as the Suez Governorate. It has 3 harbors and extensive port facilities. Together they form a metropolitan area. Railway lines and highways connect the city.
It served
with Cairo,
as something
Port
of a
Said,
death keel for Britain's
Maia.
standing. It's the problem. The thing
it has a petrochemical plant.
Okay, stop.
And its oil refineries have
but why is it
pipelines
important?
carrying the finished
Michelle.
product to Cairo.
Okay, but why is it important? It's important because it served as something of a death keel for Britain's standing as an independent power in the post-war period.
All right.
The Americans put pressure on that, messed it up.
You.
Sorry about that, guys. All right. So this is funny. Hungary vows to shake up the EU.
It's pronounced Suez.
Suez.
No, it's not. Really?
We say Su-Canal here. Sorry, guys. We always just say the Su-Canal. Hungary vows to shake up EU and ad taking aim at migrant crime, terrorism, and open borders. Now, this is an English ad. This is Hungary defending itself to the whole world. It's a short little ad, but I'm going to play it for you.
Let's see it.
This is Guy Verhofstadt. He wants more migration.
We need migration.
These are the facts. 1.8 million migrants have entered the European Union since 2015. Millions more wish to come. Since the crisis began, hundreds have lost their lives in vicious attacks all across Europe. Violent crime is rising, and Guy Verhofstadt wants more migration.
We need migration.
This is reckless. Time to shake up Brussels. Let's protect Europe.
See, now that would be a time to cue the I'm just going to shake. If y'all missed the beginning of the show, wait till the end because we're going to play it again.
Getting back to Brexit real quick. 63 pro-Brexit Tories, businessmen, and lawyers signed an open letter against Remainer Phil Hammond. And in his anti-Brexit economic forecast. So basically, there was, I guess, a government paper that was put out that said that a hard Brexit, a no-deal Brexit, would deliver a 7.7% hit on GDP over a period of years.
Fear-mongering.
Hinting that they are like the Treasury's pre-referendum anti-Brexit forecast turned out to be based on flawed or manipulated modeling. So these men and women want to know, what did you use to come up with this 7.7%? What modeling is it? Like, you can pull anything out of a hat. You're literally telling us that a no-deal Brexit is going to come up with a specific number of 7.7, low GDP. Well, we were told, and y'all were told, that it would crash the UK economy, even if you voted for Brexit.
Yeah.
Okay, and they want to know, okay, where are your models for this? What information?
It's the same models that made people, that made them come out and say you're going to have more STDs and
no sandwiches.
No more sandwiches for you people. They're called, what are they called? Buddies over there. No more buddies for you.
So they want to know, and I want to know. I feel like that is important. Speaking of food in the UK, this is absolutely jaw-dropping to me. Okay, yo mama, mommy nanny state. This is the problem with this is the major problem with having government run your healthcare for free. It's not free, y'all pay for it. You pay out the wazoo for it, okay? There are so many things that you guys could do with your money. You could buy a bigger house. You could buy a bigger car. If they didn't take like a huge chunk of your paycheck.
Buy organic vegetables and non-chemicalized products, and then you wouldn't be getting sick or fat or whatever.
And we say that, we know that Americans
No, what I mean is that's what you could do with your money.
Yeah.
If they would let you have it, you could take care of your health yourself.
But don't worry, the government's going to do it for you. Okay? The UK government sets calorie cap for pizzas and burgers and even soup. They want you to shrink the pizzas, take the toppings off of the pizzas. Pizzas, now you must be licensed to sell the pizzas at a certain calorie count. We've seen this with your sugar caps. It's so hilarious. Restaurants and supermarkets have been told to shrink pizzas or remove toppings. Under drastic new government plans to calorie cap thousands of foods sold in the UK, draft guidelines unveiled by the Public Health of England. Oh, your mama, parent government would recommend calorie limits set for regularly consumed items such as sandwiches, cooking sauces, pies, soups, and processed meats. You know, I don't look at anything I make and put it on some sort of like, there's no magic calorie counter in my house. No. There's no such thing. You know what they have to do to count calories? They have to like burn it. They burn it, and then you have to have sophisticated material to understand. And of course you can Google, okay, how many calories in a tablespoon? Well, what if I have like a little bit over a tablespoon? Real chefs don't even measure.
Here's the deal.
It's
you guys,
so weird.
From a health standpoint. Well, first of all, let me say this. There are things that you can mess with in life. Pizza ain't one of them. Okay? Don't come after my pizza and don't tell me what I can and cannot put on my pizza if I order a pizza. Okay? We have a very dear friend of ours who's been a health nut her whole life. Now, she has always said a calorie is a calorie is a calorie is a calorie.
It's not true.
That's not true, okay? It's absolutely not true. If you are going to eat foods that are healthier, that are more organic, it doesn't, the fats in a raw milk, right, are good for you. Your body actually needs calories. They're a good thing.
There's more calories and fat grams in whole wheat than there are in white. So literally, you're making things less healthy. If you want a whole wheat option, you have to eat less of it. It's so absolutely
but
insane.
just let me get this across to you people, okay? Because I love you and I want you to be well, all right? It's better to eat a higher caloric and higher fat diet if the food is, let's say, whole wheat, if you're cooking it at home, if you have raw butters, raw cheese, raw milks, things like that. These are good for you. They would rather you take the Splenda or the fat-free option or the calorie, like a soda that has no. Did you know that full-fledged Coca-Cola is, from a health standpoint, healthier for you than diet soda? It just literally has less calories. If you were to drink regular Coke your whole life and Diet Coke your whole life, your chances...
Not less calories.
Diet Coke has less calories.
Diet Coke, you said, Diet Coke has less calories, but
it has the aspartame. It will kill you. It will make you fat. It will give you a muffin top.
Tumors.
It causes your body to store fat in places it shouldn't store it. It could give you diabetes. It could kill you.
But I'm not want to ban it or outlaw it.
No. But what I'm saying is this is counterproductive. Instead of encouraging healthy eating, what they're doing is if you try to diet based on high calorie, low calorie, and not the foods that are actually good for you, you will end up sicker in the end.
That's why they're like
and so this is going to cost the NHS more money in the long run by getting people to eat lesser calories, right? Because the food is less healthy. It will end up killing you through cancers and whatnot down the road, diabetes. They don't understand health.
No, they don't.
Putting these restrictions on people. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Okay, I'm sorry. What is happening? Holly.
Holly.
You need to stop growling.
We've got a puppy here who is I'm not sure. She's spreading her wild oats. Okay, so this is another big Twitter, social media guffaw, like huge, big viral thing. Marks and Spencer. Now, this must be, tell me guys, this must be a major chain.
And Lisa, thank you. Everybody burns calories at a different rate. So putting a cap on calories where you have some tall, skinny guy, right, that needs like 4,000 or 5,000 calories in a day, and then you've got the 3 foot, 11
child.
Whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't say that politically incorrect word. You're not gonna burn the calories at the same rate. My goodness.
So Marks and Spencer must be a school uniform company in the UK. You guys have heard of it, I guess. Everybody talks about it. It's talking about it on Twitter like they know who it is. They're criticized now for selling a school uniform hijab
for 3-year-olds,
toddlers. Marks and Spencer has been criticized for selling hijabs as part of its school uniform range, with anti-extremism campaigner Majid Nawaz condemning the leading British department store for facilitating medievalism. The Islamic modesty garment can be found on the essentials section of school uniform pages, costing £6.
Worth a look.
Coming in both black and navy in sizes small to large, intended for school children from nursery aged around 3 to high school.
They sell different clothes and food, etc. So it's not just a clothing store.
One London mother of 3 told Breitbart London that she was uncomfortable buying other uniform items from Marks and Spencer, her usual retailer choice, while it sold the oppressive garment.
Okay, I want to try to, there really isn't a way to explain what this means for people, because I know that those of you that are watching our show get it, but maybe there are some of you that don't. What's so wrong with selling a hijab for a toddler? A hijab is a representation that a female that is Muslim has reached maturity and kind of a pubescent era, and they can now be looked at as being lusted after, and they have to cover up. All right, it's a sign that you are too whatever going to cause lustful thoughts in men, and that's why you need to cover it up. So it's a symbol when the girl starts wearing the hijab, I'm sure I'm not Muslim, but I'm sure there is a bit of pride there in their culture. Like, I've now reached maturity. Okay, like girls used to be when they could put their hair up, or you know what I'm saying. So, or their dresses had to be below their ankles. Before that, little girls, their dresses. And so that's what this is. That's why it's so wrong.
Nawi says, hijab is still imposed only on women, by the way, by law in Iran and Saudi Arabia and many other countries. This is gender apartheid. Marks and Spencer are free to sell Confederate flag t-shirts too, but I bet they never will. Okay? School uniforms are mostly mandatory across the United Kingdom. And though they vary in color and style, generic items like blouses and skirts can be bought at department stores. When challenged by Mr. Nawiz why they are facilitating medievalism and sexualizing young girls as young as 3, a spokesman for this retailer tweeted, "We provide bespoke uniforms for 250 schools across the country, and they tell us which items they need as part of their uniform list. Which school needs a hijab for kids?
Right.
Which school needs hijabs for children?
Right.
Okay? I don't think that anyone all the way through high school should wear one and have to wear one to school. Okay? You know, I think that if older girls want to wear one to school, then they bring that home. There's no uniform. There's no uniform for that. You just wear what you got from home.
The irony is that Sean says that Marks and Sparks started out as a Jewish-run company.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
How about that?
Somebody else tweeted out, UKIP member, the old argument about women being able to choose what they wear doesn't really apply here, does it? Young girls being schooled in modesty and effectively submission. And I follow Yasmin Mohammed on Twitter. She is, I'm going to put this out here because she is allowed to say this because what she suffered under Islam.
Yeah.
F you so much, Marks and Spencer. From the bottom of my heart, sincerely, F you. And I go ahead and say that because she suffered having to wear the full veil that covered her face and everything like that. The oppression that she faced, and the fact that she lives in Canada now, and she's so upset with people in Canada who are like, I'm gonna have a hijab day. We're gonna in solidarity wear hijabs. With
Why can't even Muslim children just be children? Yeah. It's very restrictive to wear the hijab, right? So you should at least, as you are a child, be allowed, because it's a part of your culture that you're allowed. Right. You know, because now it's almost turned into this statement that these the religion that shall not be named parents are sending their child to school to make a statement, and here's the sick part is that they really know what it is. They know what it represents, and they're still willing to send their child to school with that. Crazy.
So along with this craziness and this idea that we can just kind of go along with the religion that shall not be named, their extremism and sexualizing of children, you have a plain mutiny. I would never. Here's the thing. My mom always told us, don't ever argue in the car. Right. Okay. And what you also do not do is cause any ruckus on a plane, ever. Yeah. Plane mutiny kept a gang rapist in the UK. A Somali man who was put on a plane to be deported because he had gang raped. He was lined up with a gang raped a 16-year-old girl. He was sentenced to 9 years in prison. And in the UK, it's fantastic for all kinds of murderers and rapists because seriously, it's like, I'm going to go charge up $20,000 on my credit card, and if I live in the UK, I just have to pay half of it. It's fantastic. So he gets 4 years in prison for gang raping, right? I can't even imagine. Right. His name is Yaqub Amin. And he was going to be deported, and the whole, not the whole plane, but a good portion of the plane started to protest his deportation. I'm not even kidding. It's really hard for me to watch the video. There's a video of it. Passengers help a man get off the plane as he resists deportation. I'm not even kidding you.
You know his. No, he knows his. He knows his. Yeah, he knows his situation, and he says he's not safe. I don't know. Exactly, so. But I know he's scared because that's why he's scared. Take him off the plane! Take him off the plane! Take him out, sir, because we have connection flight.
And the airline, they went ahead and facilitated this craziness because they didn't want anything.
At this moment in time, sir, if we take him off, everyone on this plane has to get off. Because we've got to get off that start time. I'm not taking it from you lot. You lot just told me you're scared.
I have never seen a stewardess.
I'm not prepared to take him.
He's not a stewardess. He's got to be like an air marshal or an airline guy. And he'd be a steward.
If he's coming off, the plane, I'm not sure. I'm making it up.
Unbelievable.
This is dangerous, by the way. You cannot just become a mob
Take him
on
off
an
the
airplane.
plane! Take him off the plane!
I have no idea who's screaming in that.
Can somebody explain to me, though, like, all right, I'm going to be completely honest here. Do we not have military airplanes in the UK
Well,
that can
see, here's the
deport
thing.
people?
It's really expensive. They have had to see a lot of airlines have stopped deporting. They won't deport because the people.
I'm going to be honest.
But they've
I
been
wouldn't want to be
trying-
on a flight with somebody that's a known rapist and criminal.
Well,
I mean,
it costs a lot of money.
do you transport the guy that's moving from one prison to the next prison on a
no, here's
local
the thing.
bus?
He's served and he's out, so they get to fly.
Okay, fine. I guess you're right.
A Somalian whose deportation from Britain was dramatically halted after airline passengers staged a mutiny demanding his release.
But it looked
can
like
be
he
exposed
started
today
it, though.
as a convicted gang rapist who was
Making a
being
big
kicked
stink.
out of the country because of a sickening crime. One stage during the astonishing episode filmed on mobile phones, one traveler complained they're separating him from his family while others chanted to take him off. When harassed, security guards, I guess that was a security guard, caved in and walked the 29-year-old Ahmed off the Turkish Airlines flight. He was seen thanking them for your support, and one person said, "You're free, man!" But the passengers who thought they were doing a good deed were unaware that they were defending this guy who had been sentenced to 9 years in jail for his part in a vicious gang rape of a teenage girl, and another member of that gang later fought for the Islamic State in Syria.
Unbelievable.
So there was DNA evidence. He was definitely guilty. The police should have been called, and all the passengers who were interfering should have been arrested and removed from the plane. And that is absolutely true for causing that kind of disturbance. Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so that was not awesome.
Jasper, you should go
crazy.
lay down.
All right, so what's happening in Bavaria right now? Bavaria is, it's in Germany.
And we are actually going to show Sean and Tracy's video from Bavaria at the end of the show.
Voters in
If that's
Germany's economically dominant, I guess I heard it was like their tech Silicon Valley, southern state of Bavaria delivered a stunning rebuke to the ruling CSU, Angela Merkel's party, in an election that underscored the evaporation of support for the parties of Angela Merkel's Grand Coalition in Berlin. With all eyes on Sunday's Bavaria election, moments ago, the first exit polls, this is today, showed a historic collapse for the ruling CSU party, which has ruled Bavaria continuously since 1957, and which saw its share of the vote collapse from 47.7 in the 2013 election to just 35.5, losing its absolute majority and suffering its worst election results since 1950, as voters defected in droves to the Greens and to the AfD. German newspaper Welt called the election the most painful election defeat of the past 50 years for the CSU. As predicted in the polls, the CSU experienced a historical debacle historic debacle in the Bavarian state elections. According to Welt, the CSU was followed by the Greens, which soared in the election, more than doubling to 18% from 8.6, and the Free Voters rose from 11.9. Meanwhile, the nationalist AfD are expecting to enter Bavaria's parliament for the first time ever with 11% of the vote, and as such are setting up for their post-election party. So we have a big change here. There was a greater variation of, go on and on. So this kind of shows that Angela Merkel, and when we talk about her, we have to see that George Soros, he has been using her as a puppet for years, and Germany is leaving the one world government ideal. Now remember, Germany is heavily censored. They aren't allowed, if they were even allowed to speak 1/10 of what everybody wanted to say in Germany, the CSU would be gone. Angela Merkel would be gone. But the government there, as it is working on here, puts people in jail for saying things that they want to say. And so this is a historic defeat, and I really think that it shows that the not just the EU and not just the United States, but people are waking up because they're learning what their leaders have done to them over the past 100 years. Okay? Before the rise of the internet, the one world government used television and radio and print newspaper to control people and to get people in line, and they used education. But something has happened because the internet is its own educator, which is why they have to censor everything. Basically saying, don't learn that, don't read that, don't say that. Okay? Germany is well known for being a mind controlling area, which is how Hitler even rose to power in the first place. Don't tell me that they haven't stopped controlling people's minds. They're like, well, okay. If you don't want us to go in that direction, we'll go in another direction, but we still want to be in power. Right. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, it's kind of cool. So speaking of people standing up in the EU.
Going to Victor Salvini.
Salvini's got a lot of interesting headlines this week. One of them is, Salvini wants a curfew for ethnic shops attracting drug dealers, people who go to the bathroom everywhere. Italy's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Interior, Matteo Salvini, is planning a 9 p.m. curfew for ethnic shops, which attract drunks, drug dealers, and people who raise hell at night.
Wow.
His popularity has surged. Let's see. There will be an amendment for the closure by 9 p.m. of those little ethnic shops that in the evenings become a meeting place for drunk people and drug dealers.
Nice.
Using highly charged language, he said that establishment of this sort were attracting people who drink beer and whiskey until 3 a.m. and raise hell and poop and pee everywhere. It's not polite. He said, he added, revealing that he lived nearby such places himself and that he believed they were degrading the quality of life for many Italians. So we'll see how that goes over.
You guys need to remember that these people, like Salvini, yeah, he's a populist, but he does lean more socialist. Okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, and so this is where we can join hand in hand with people that are sane but have different views.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Italy's Salvini deports Islamic extremists who wanted to kill white tourists and Christians. The Italian government has announced the deportation of 3 African migrants suspected of close ties with Islamic terrorist groups, including one who had expressed the desire to kill white tourists and Christians. They released a statement on Friday with a brief description of the 3 men, adding that they had been identified as linked to Islamic extremism, were judged to be a danger for national security, and therefore repatriated. The first was 20-year-old Moroccan man with numerous precedents for common crimes, drunkenness, and disorderly behavior. In October 2017, the man had threatened passers-by the synagogue of Florence, brandishing a kitchen knife, shouting, Allahu Akbar.
No.
The second was a 24-year-old Gambian national who had also been arrested for common crimes and is accused of having served in international terrorist groups. In a notebook found in his possession, the man had reproduced diagrams of explosive devices.
No.
with instructions for their assembly and use.
Stop it.
In the same notebook, the man declared his affinity to a parliamentary formation active in Central Western Africa, expressing a strong desire to kill white tourists and Christians in Gambia by striking hotels and churches.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
The man wrote that he entrusted the success of his future attacks to Allah. And finally, authorities have also expelled a 28-year-old Tunisian citizen who has been arrested in Modena for vandalism and the sale of drugs. During his trial, the man repeatedly praised the work of the Islamic State and, refusing to return to his detention cell, attacked prison police. The announcement of these deportations followed closely by the expulsion of an imam charged with inciting to Islamic terrorism. The 26-year-old Egyptian imam Ahmed, had been living in Italy on a work permit since 2005 and was expelled from the country earlier this week. According to investigators, this guy, Ahmed Abudali, espoused a radical Islamist orientation that was confirmed by surveillance of his electronic communications as well as his dealings in the mosque. He has also been identified as one of those responsible for an attack against the magistrate Daniela Seneche in 2009. So here's the thing: this isn't like, okay. What's hilarious? It's not funny. None of this is funny. But like, the UK police are busy watching for trolling people saying things like, "Oh wow, hey, Islam's not a religion of peace. You know, maybe these people should go home." They want to take those people, put them in jail. Italy's looking at people. Okay, you want to blow people up? You gonna go home, baby. It's time to go home. No, not here in Italy. No, you don't get to like sit there and draw plans for bombs and for us to just sit there and be like, we can't do anything because you actually haven't committed a crime yet.
Well, no, it's not even that. I want to read you guys this article about this French hero. But before I do,
oh yeah.
The way I want to link this is this. You have somebody that is a hero, and regardless of who the perpetrator was or the culprit was, a hero should be praised.
Absolutely.
But you can't have that because you can't ever say anything against the religion that shall not be named, even in praising someone. Now, I wanted to actually show you guys this article, but there's a distracting picture to the side, so I'm just going to read it. This is from Voice of Europe. French hero who sacrificed himself to save a hostage from an Islamist won't have a place named after him, as it may offend Muslims.
Right.
French hero Arnaud Beltrame, who sacrificed himself to save a hostage from an Islamist terrorist, won't have a place named after him because it may upset Marseille's huge Muslim community. On March 24th, 2018, an ISIS terrorist stormed a supermarket in Trebeil, armed with a handgun, a hunting knife, and 3 homemade bombs. He shot 2 people dead and took others hostage. During the negotiation with the police, the terrorist accepted Beltrame's offer to swap places with the last hostage, a female cashier. Beltrame also set his phone on a table with its line open so that the police outside could monitor the activity inside. After a 3-hour standoff with the police, Rudine Lakdim, the 25-year-old terrorist, stabbed, even though rumors circulated that he sliced Beltrame's throat and murdered Arnaud Beltrame. But apparently paying tribute to Beltrame's sacrifice is seen as being potentially offensive by Marseille's leftist elected officials. Here's what Stephanie Revere, Marseille's 7th District National Rally Mayor, revealed during a town council with Marseille's elected officials. Leftist elected officials, socialists and communists, refused that a place in the 15th district be named after Arnaud Beltrame in the first time, they've said, under a fallacious pretext that this place wasn't prestigious enough before telling the truth in these terms. We are on a field. We witnessed that the population has changed, and if we give the name of Arnaud Beltrame in this district, the population will take that as provocation. Marseille's 15th district is similar to Marseille, a place with a huge community of immigrants from North Africa who practice a rigorous Islam. Marseille is not only a cesspool of crimes, but also of jihadists. Just on the 1st of October in 2017, an illegal immigrant from Tanzania shouted Allahu Akbar before stabbing and killing 2 women, 20 and 20-year-old cousins. That was actually the same day as the Las Vegas
Was it?
massacre. Yeah. So you guys, this is absolutely insane. Here is, and this I can switch over to show you this is Arnaud. Beltran. So they're not going to give him a place. He sacrificed his life. He exchanged with a cashier to actually be the hostage. But no, you can't honor him because it might invoke provocation.
More attacks.
Oh my gosh, ridiculous.
Okay, so with that, since it makes me kind of angry and I don't have words, I'm just going to let this AFD guy tell you what I think, what he thinks. This is Duster Bundestag. I think this is Dr. Godefroy Curio. Okay, the Duster Bundestag must be a place. So what are you here? And this is Dr. Godefroy Curio from the AFD. And he's going to start out by saying, the Quran says there is no one who may challenge the words of Allah.
Der Koran sagt, es gibt keinen, der die Worte Allahs zu ändern vermag. Und der einfache Moslem
And the simple Muslim doesn't interpret. Here's the words. Does it only concern Islam? No. Like Erdogan says, there is no distinction between Islam and Islamism. Islamism is just applied Islam. Islam doesn't belong to Germany because it can't be part of our constitutional state. A tolerant Islam is Western wishful thinking. Euro-Islam, German Islam, democratic Islam is the empty imagination of round squares and square circles.
Islam sind leere Fantastereien von runden Quadraten und eckigen Kreisen.
Somebody's yelling. A study of Muslim students in Lower Saxony shows 27% of them believe the Sharia would be better than German laws.
In Niedersachsen zeigt, 27% halten die Scharia für besser als deutsche Gesetze. 19%
19% of them believe it is their duty to fight infidels and spread Islam worldwide. 8% of them are for the proliferation of ISIS, and somebody's yelling, you're lying. 4% are in favor of terror attacks. The contempt of people of other faith is exactly the mindset that breeds terrorism. Because those who are radically opposed to the way of life of a society, see it as sinful, will have an easier time to act against it violently. Enes Amri fully felt like he was acting legitimized by the Quran. The Quran taught in schools and the one distributed by the Salafists is the same. Would the most youth endangering media today be the one where a reality-like killer... let me back this up here.
Deutscher Bundestag equals highest German parliament.
Okay, thank you. Game is offered. No Muslim should radicalize himself and feel legitimized in their violent crimes through illicit teachings because spreading them should no longer be allowed in Germany. That is now your responsibility. Those who vote against this proposal don't vote against the AfD but against our constitution. And then somebody's screaming on the contrary. And acts opposed to the safety of our citizens. There are people who want to suggest that violence in the name of this religion has nothing to do with this religion. Okay, the one screaming Allah Akbar during a murder doesn't mean Allah after all. To block out the defining reasons is more important to them than the victims, more important than threatened homosexuals, more important than assaulted Jews, more important than women stabbed to death.
Wichtiger als bedrängte Homosexuelle, wichtiger als geschlagene Juden, wichtiger als mit Messerstichen ermordete Frauen.
These texts are not harmless, as their impact shows. Merkel's invitation has imported hatred of the Jews by the hundreds of thousands. After the Holocaust and all the never again screams courting anti-Semitism such as this is shameful, Mrs. Merkel. Is this Merkel? After me, the Sharia. Merkel's motto. Daily knife crimes, areas where women and Jews are afraid, mobbing of German students, growing no-go areas. All of this didn't exist before Merkel.
Für Juden, Mobbing deutscher Schüler, wachsende No-Go-Areas, all das gab es vor Merkel nicht. Wenn Merkel
If Merkel believes Islam is part of Germany, part of our constitutional German state, then we say Islam belongs to Merkel, but Merkel no longer belongs to Germany.
gehöre zu unserem Rechtsstaat Deutschland, dann sagen wir, der Islam gehört zu Merkel, aber Merkel gehört nicht länger zu Deutschland. Ich danke Ihnen.
Well said. I like it.
So the stark difference between those like shouting him down and those cheering for him is so crazy. It's like all the bad movies we watch. Well, they're good movies. Watch them, but like where you literally have these evil people on one side and like the freedom fighters on the other side. Like when you watch the movies, do you really see yourself on the side of the totalitarian state? Because that's who you are.
I know.
Like, that's you. It's so weird. Like, do you not watch movies? Do you not see yourself as a character? Don't you see that these people are the freedom fighters?
I will tell you something interesting. My mom used to tell me that a certain relative of ours, who is not a good person, when he watched movies, that he envisioned himself as the bad guy. So there are some people that do, but then I think you're trying to appeal to the sound-minded person going, maybe swayed by the thought of, well, maybe we shouldn't let people speak hateful words,
Yeah, so like Divergent, when you're watching the movie Divergent, seriously, Merkel's team, the one world government, and the Democrats here, they're the evil people at the top. Like, seriously, everything they're doing, shutting down free speech.
Right.
Just calling everybody random racist, Islamophobist, whatever. Just random things. Like putting people in jail for their thoughts.
Yeah.
Sweden cancels traditional... Sweden. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Holly, be nice. She's just a puppy. She's learning, I guess, to not be mean.
Cecilia Gal says, Michelle, I think there's one in every family.
Sweden cancels traditional Christmas concert and increases promotions for Islamic events. Look at that flag. That's awesome. Sweden's and perhaps the world's largest... You can put that food next to you. And she's just next to you. Sweden and perhaps the world's largest outdoor Christmas concert, Oh Holy Night, which traditionally airs on Swedish national TV on Christmas Eve each year, has been canceled! You can't cancel Christmas! This is most likely yet another example of Swedish traditions being suppressed in order... not to offend migrants who don't hold Christian beliefs. Earlier instances include replacing Lucia, who according to the ancient Swedish pagan Yule tradition always has been a long-haired, blonde, beautiful woman, with a black boy, putting a woman in a hijab on the annual Advent Christmas calendar. Like, come on. A woman in a hijab on the Christmas calendar.
Okay, just for the record, the word Christmas has Christ in it.
Canceling the traditional students' choir's appearance on TV. Principals forbidding students to wave the Swedish flag on graduation day. Prayer for diversity at National Day celebration events. Left-wing Swedes promoting the idea that Sweden's National Day should not be celebrated. At the same time, Muslim culture and traditions are intensely promoted. On Midsummer's Day, Sweden's most important traditional holiday, TV4 decided to let a woman in a hijab teach the Swedes how to cook kebab properly. Ramadan is celebrated with public events in several Swedish cities as well as on TV.
Amazing.
Authorities are allowing Islamic calls to prayer and at the same time forbidding Christian churches to ring their bells. Sadly, this is not unique for Sweden. Similar things have occurred and continue to occur all over Western Europe. So, yeah, they canceled Oh Holy Night in
And
Sweden.
here's the problem that I have.
The problem, the one problem?
Oh, no, I'm just saying I could meet somebody in the middle. I really can't, but for the sake of argument, I will. It's biased in one direction. You can have the Islamic call to prayer, but the church bells are shut down.
Right.
Okay, you can't do that. If you're going to shut it down, you got to shut it down for everybody.
Right.
Okay, and that's the thing. Interestingly, I discovered because of a detour that we had to do for some clients of ours at pet visits that we have an Islamic temple.
No, it's Hindu.
Oh, thank God.
It's Hindu.
All right, I'm down with that. Hindu temple all the way. How did you know it was Hindu?
Because when I was looking up the map, it said Hindu temple.
Okay, good.
Hindu temple.
Okay, because I was about to freak out. But my point is, weird. there's a sign that says temple, and it's got like the whatever symbol. It's a word, I guess, in another language, but it's a symbol. And then underneath of it, there's a sign because there's a church literally a stone's throw away from the temple. So then they had to put church with 3 little crosses underneath of it because they're trying to play fair. All right, if we're going to have a little, and this was like, it's like a city sign, right? It's in the same print and everything. It's underneath the street sign. Okay. It says temple and then it says church. That's fair, right?
That's funny.
I'm just saying. So, Sean says the Islamic call to prayer just sounds satanic to me. You said it. I agree.
It does. This Asi Bibi is a woman who is very poor, and she is sentenced to death because several years ago she drank out of the same cup as her Muslim co-workers. And so Free Asi Bibi is all over Twitter right now because her case is now before the very high court.
A violation of human rights, there's no question. Did you know that they include crimes like a spelling error? If you spell the Prophet's name wrong, that's a blasphemy law. If you throw away a card which has Muhammad's name on it, that's also blasphemy. So here is a chance for Imran Khan to really stand up. You've got 2% of the population in Pakistan are Christians. That would be a very uncomfortable position to be in. Do you know what this woman's crime was? Well, of course you do. She drank water.
That's it. On a sweltering hot summer day in Punjab, she was out working in a farm, was asked to fetch some water, and she had a drink of water from a cup that the other workers shared. And because she's Christian, they thought she soiled the water and the water supply. And this is where all the trouble started. This is a mother of 5 who's barely seen her kids in 9 years.
So what interests me is Pope Benedict and many other world leaders have appealed to the Pakistani government. And this first happened in 2010, right?
2009 she was arrested. 2010 she was
incarcerated.
She was sentenced to death. That's right.
So we've had now 8 years of this poor woman. God knows what's happened to her children. These are not rich people.
No.
And yet the Pakistani government just completely ignores the world. Yet they're still a recipient of a great amount of aid.
That's a really good point that this Australian Sky News went into. They're still a recipient of a tremendous amount of aid. So when we see like Islamic governments saying keeping a woman in jail since 2010 because supposedly she soiled the water supply because she's a Christian in a Muslim country. And we're supposed to be like, oh, hey, everybody from Pakistan, how you doing?
Come on over.
Multiculturalism. What are your beliefs? Oh, you believe that if I drink out of the same cup as you, I am committing blasphemy and I should die? We want to go over for a barbecue? We'll try not to have any pork.
Or make sure it's halal.
Guys, I have another article here on this because this is really sad. This family of this woman, this Christian mother, they say that they're hopeful. The family of Asi Bibi, the Christian mother who faces execution for blasphemy in Pakistan, said they hope the Supreme Court would free her. But in any case, they feared for their future living in Pakistan under the blasphemy laws. Yeah.
So let me tell you guys something.
They seem like such nice people.
Let me tell you something. I would love to take in refugees from Pakistan.
Who are Christians.
I want to take them all in. I believe that we should. I believe that we have a responsibility to the world to take in real refugees from Pakistan. The Christians that are being persecuted and put to death for drinking water out of the same cup as a Muslim.
Yeah.
Those are the people that we should be taking in. So the next time that somebody says, we believe in...
The leftists don't want
Let me tell y'all something.
The leftists don't want Christian refugees.
Let me tell y'all something. I would like to speak to Viktor Orban or maybe Antonio Salvini or, the entire government of Poland and ask them, if you had to take in refugees from Pakistan, would you be willing to take in the Christian refugees from Pakistan? And I have a sneaking little suspicion that they might say yes. I'm serious. So it is not a prejudice. It's not that we hate your people. It's not a racism thing at all. Okay? It's, are these people being wrongfully persecuted for their religious beliefs? Yes. All right. You get refugee status. It's that simple.
So her husband says, we are hopeful that whatever the court proceedings are will come out as positive for us. Her daughter, who's been without her mom in jail, her mom drank water, says, Holly, what are you doing? I will be very happy the day that the day my mother will be released. I will hug her and I will cry meeting her and will thank God that he has got her released. Bibi's family are in London on a visit organized by the Aid to the Church in Need, a charity which helps repressed and persecuted Christians. Bibi, a laborer, was accused, and we read you what happened there.
Amazing.
The Kurds in Syria call on European nations to take back 900 captured Islamic State fighters. The spokesman Nuri Mahmoud said there are about 900 ISIS terrorists in our jails from 44 countries, and that Western countries are flouting their responsibility. Take them back. Remember, Sweden's municipalities have attempted to integrate jihadis by offering them driving lessons, access to housing, and debt forgiveness.
Unbelievable.
France, meanwhile, did take back Islamic State fighter Jonathan Jeffrey, who was captured in 2007 by the Free Syrian Army. Jeffrey, who interacted with the senior French members of the group, claimed that the Islamic State had planned to train young children to travel to Europe and carry out Islamic attacks, and of course Canada has taken several back. So, Sydney looks like
Worth a Look says the UN and the EU have made it so anyone can basically roam wherever they want. They want to destroy the nation states and togetherness people have in their countries. Easier to manipulate then.
BBC is going to fight hard the heteronormative culture with gender-neutral pronouns and straight ally badges.
Oh my gosh! So I actually have this video. Maybe we can just let.
Is this it? You have a video on this?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, play it.
All right. So Majid mistakes BBC policy on non-binary pronouns for April Fool's joke. All right. Let's listen. I was listening to this before we got started. Worth a Look sent this to us.
Is telling us that there's a generational shift in attitude. The shift in attitude is reflected in a recent YouGov survey, finding that this is what I found actually quite surprising. Did you know that only 51% of 18 to 24-year-olds said that they identified as completely heterosexual?
That's depressing.
Only 51% of 18 to 24-year-olds identify.
I don't know if I haven't watched this, so I don't know if he's going to tell you this, but what's funny is that in that same study, or at another study, it said only 4% identify as LGBT.
Okay.
So, what are the other people doing
Good
in
question.
the heterosexual thing? I'm only 51% heterosexual, but only 4% are LGBT.
Right. I'm pulling up the chat here.
As straight. That's, it's an amazing change in culture, if true. It's amazing in a sense of I'm actually genuinely surprised because I didn't see that coming, and I don't know if it's good or bad. It's just different. If the new generation, if the current 18-year-old, if only half of them identify as straight, that tells us our future is going to be very, very different. I suppose.
But I'm pretty sure that those from the religion that shall not be named are still going to be having children.
Good point.
Most of them, 49% that don't identify as straight, I suppose they will be a mix of non-binary, gay, and everything in between. And of course, that's what gender fluidity means. It's what sexual fluidity means. And I suppose the next generation sees things in a completely different way. Now, that is so far so good. Perfectly normal. The bit I found absolutely blooming weird was that in the middle of all this generally sensible stuff that we're hearing, of course, reflected in a shift of generational attitudes, which must be catered for because it's the future.
Why is it, though? Why is it? Because I don't think I have the article up. I have so many articles up. The article that I read earlier today said that all the schools in the UK have to teach elementary school children not just about homosexuals but transsexuals,
Right.
transitioning, transgender.
And what it does is it makes children confused.
And it confuses kids and it tells them, do you feel like that letter they had to write as Prince Harry's lover to
Unbelievable.
they had to write a fairy tale. Children had to write a fairy tale. I thought we did. Children had to write a fairy tale from Prince Harry to his servant.
Right.
A love letter. So they had to put themselves in the mind of a male writing a male love letter to another younger, subordinate male.
So Leah's saying, why do we have the confusion that we have here?
Comes this throwaway line, which I think I almost missed, and then I read again. I thought, am I being April Fooled here in October? Is this a joke? And it's not. Wait for it. In addition, heterosexual BBC staff will be asked to wear badges identifying themselves as straight allies to help their LGBT colleagues. Then I reread it. In addition, heterosexual BBC staff will be asked to wear badges identifying themselves as straight allies to help their LGBT colleagues. And then I thought, hold on, I must have read that wrong. So I read it a third time. In addition, heterosexual BBC staff will be asked to wear badges identifying themselves as straight allies. And I thought, are you seriously adopting a policy that is to wear an identifier to declare your sexuality first and foremost to the rest of your colleagues that you're straight, and then to impose a positive duty on staff that those who are straight must not only declare that they're straight, but must also declare their alliance to those who are not straight? You're imposing that duty on your staff? Because anti-discrimination legislation, and it's great by the way, used to impose a negative duty. Do not discriminate. Now it looks like they want to impose a positive duty. It's not good enough any longer to say, I don't discriminate. You must actually declare your sexuality and then with it declare that you're an ally of LGBT and so on and so forth, because there's a plus after that, and it can mean, let's just say, diverse sexuality and gender fluidity. You must declare that you are an ally. Now, by the way, I am an ally. In fact, this radio show won a Pink News Award for being an ally, but I am an ally because I do so voluntarily, because I choose to ally myself to various causes that I find are just and good for progress in our society. What I would never want to be told is that I must do so, that I must enter into a room and declare myself.
All right, so now this is sound-mindedness, right? I love that he can state, listen, I am an ally, I do support the LGBT community, but I have a real problem with being told that I can't just do things voluntarily, that I'm required to do it. All right, so imagine now all of a sudden I went and got my badge from Brian. This is what makes me Commander Michelle. If you ever want to know why some people call me Commander, it's because I wish it so. Just because Brian sent us these badges with our names on them. That's the Ohio and the American there. But anyway, imagine you have to now wear a badge, and this, instead of saying Michelle Svensson, it says straight ally of, and then maybe there's a rainbow flag behind here or something like that. This is absolutely insanity. Why should you have to, if you work at the BBC, walk around with a badge stating your sexual identity? We have reached madness. This is literal madness. I mean, and now Worth a Look said Leah was so angry about it she stormed off.
Dogs. I'm not.
But no, he's of course joking.
Yep.
But I mean, seriously, guys, it's craziness. We're living in this upside down, right is wrong, wrong is right, up is down, down is up society, and they're expecting us to just swallow it, hook, line, and sinker. Well, guess what? We're not gonna do it. Even this guy.
So
no, I'm not gonna do it.
I wish she had also read. Can you shut that door? Because I'm getting chilly.
Sure.
I wish she had also read the part from Breitbart that said that Last year, the official
shut the door, man.
government figures show that just 4.1% of 16 to 24-year-olds reported themselves as lesbian, gay, or bisexual. So I don't even think that these children understand what it means to be. I think that when they say, "Are you heterosexual?" it is not cool.
No. You want to be
You
different.
want to be, well, I'm not heterosexual. I'm open to everything. You know what I mean? Like,
well, and I think also if there's a shaming, like if you're not open to everything, then you're a bad person.
I'm a guy and just attracted to girls. I'm not attracted to boys, and you're shamed for it.
Yeah.
You're shamed, and it's like this weird thing, but only 4.1% said, I don't even think kids understand the difference between lesbian, gay, and heterosexual. Like they haven't even been taught what that means. They've only been taught that heterosexual is bad. Isn't it weird?
Yeah. Liz on Facebook Live says they are playing with our children's heads.
Yeah, absolutely. So they are definitely playing with. So I want to go on to the side note here, because it's kind of world news. A Washington Post reporter who was not American walked into the Turkish embassy, the Saudi Arabian embassy in Turkey.
Okay.
And he did not walk out. So Turkey says that they have his iPhone microphone audio that proves that he was murdered in the Saudi Arabian embassy by the Saudi Arabian government, which is kind of blowing things up. Donald Trump, hard line, says if this is true, we're going to investigate. There will be sanctions. But here's the thing. It's much easier to sanction Iran for oil than it is Saudi Arabia, because we rely on Saudi Arabian oil.
It's called the petrodollar.
And we've talked about this a lot. Or maybe I haven't talked about it enough. I do on Twitter.
We haven't talked about it in a while.
So Rand Paul was on the Senate floor, and he said, I want to pull out all funding for funding Saudi Arabia and funding their war in Yemen. They are literally blowing up children. You know how Assad was accused of it? They are the genocide happening in Yemen by the Saudi Arabian government. The Saudi Arabian government, they call Iran the world's #1 sponsor of terror, but they're not. Saudi Arabia is the world's #1 sponsor of terror by the Wahhabi. Every country that has Islamic extremists has a tie to this Wahhabi extremism in Saudi Arabia.
Now, maybe you could explain exactly what Rand Paul was saying, because of course he wants to pull out, but he was also trying to pull out any funding from anyone that had these Baka boys, and
that's different. That's in Afghanistan.
Well, but still, he's across the board. Rand Paul is calling for us not backing and supporting these Islamic terrorists and those that commit, I call them, human rights violations.
Right. But it's much more specific. When we go to Afghanistan, their government is failing. It doesn't really matter if we pull out. I mean, like, seriously. But Saudi Arabia, they're supposedly one of our greatest allies.
But they're not.
Military allies. The only reason they are one of our allies is because of the economic agreement that we have with them. If you're prepared, I am prepared for my government to crash. I am prepared to wake up tomorrow and have gasoline be $50 a gallon because and to save lives in Yemen and to stop the terrorism. We could literally suck terrorism dry.
Yeah.
We've gone into Iraq. We've gone into Syria. We've gone into all these countries where Gaddafi was. We've gone into all these other places, but they all stem. The hive mind is
from Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia.
Right.
That's the only country we haven't cut ties with. We could literally suck dry Islamic extremism by saying, you know what, the whole world, and everybody knows it's Saudi Arabia. The UK government knows it's Saudi Arabia. The Americans know it's Saudi Arabia. Everybody talks about it. It's the big elephant in the room that only true, people who say, hey, the king doesn't have any clothes on. Right? The Rand Pauls of this world are like, listen, if you really want to stop terrorism, okay, you could really stem the tide by sanctioning Saudi Arabia.
Well, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place because why are we in this? Why do we allow them? Why are we funding it, etc.? Because our dollar bill went from the gold standard to the petro standard, essentially. It was a complete switch. Now, if we were to move to a more Chinese-based monetary world, I want to call it a dollar, but then it wouldn't be the dollar anymore. Everything in the world is based on the dollar, right? They're trying to switch that. That wouldn't be good either, okay? We need to go back to a gold standard that then the world could run off of. But like Leah said, nobody wants change. Nobody likes change. So they just continue with more of the same. Americans are not ready to wake up tomorrow and have gasoline be $50 an hour. They're not ready to go to a gallon. They're not ready to go to the grocery store and have bread cost $25. Like Americans are not prepared for that. But what Trump is doing is he is setting up, Trump knows this is all going to happen. And he's setting up these sureties along the way, whether it's China, which we didn't get to this week, and I'm really sorry, and the tariffs on China, or what have you, the pulling out of NAFTA. He's putting up these sureties everywhere so that when it does collapse, and it's going to collapse sometime within either this term or his second term, if he's president or not, it's going to happen, I believe. And so I think he's setting up these sureties now to make the crash landing a little bit softer.
So Trump said on Saturday the U.S. could take very, very powerful, very strong measures against the country if its leaders are found to be responsible for the Saudi citizens' fate. The kingdom, which denies its involvement in, his name was Khashoggi, his disappearance, announced it would retaliate against any punitive measures with an even stronger response. The kingdom affirms its total rejection of any threats and attempts to undermine it, whether through economic sanctions, political pressure, or repeating false accusations. But the Saudi stocks did crash the most since 2016.
Our stocks are dropping as well.
Right. So we're coming on the close of our show. I wanted to end on something happy. But first, before I go to something happy, Worth a Look sent me this video, and it was so shocking. I don't even know. It's just shocking. Oh. We can't go to something happy. What am I kidding? Kidding myself.
Who am I kidding?
Okay, you guys.
You did just cover this. Is there more to it?
No, I'm not covering this. I'm sorry. I just brought this up. I don't know how to talk. I don't have words for what they're doing to the young men and women who took a picture with Tommy Robinson. Some men and women, and I'm going to get to this. I'm going to play this video, and then we're going to talk about Tommy Robinson and the soldiers that he took a picture with who are being threatened. Now this was just published. This is Met Police brutality in London at the DFLA protests against extremism. Protests yesterday against extremism in London, similar to the policing on the demonstrations to free for Tommy Robinson. The Met Police tried to provoke trouble. Yesterday, this thug in uniform crossed the line. I've witnessed far left and Muslim demonstrations that are violent and where they set fire to poppies with lighter fuel, screaming obscenities through the minute's silence, and in all instances, the Met Police did nothing. For some reason, the police feel that working class protests can be met with unprovoked police violence. Did anyone get his number? He should be sacked and prosecuted. So I've never really seen anything like that. That was pretty shocking. He just got like totally slammed by the police officer here. And here you have Tommy Robinson, though. This is kind of funny. 10 mass Antifa came against him. He's just like, go ahead. Wait, I have something playing in the background.
So Tommy, what I want to do is allow...
Okay.
Yes.
You fucking mate.
Look at your fucking knacker, you have to.
No, it's Tom. You ready, lads? Yeah, you ready? By the way, Kev, I want to see what else.
What are you on?
They're all past me. No, get off. So what's happening? What's happening here is,
thank you. The
20
dogs
lads
did
with
a fight
balaclavas
with
have
the
turned up,
cameras
yeah?
Shoot.
20 lads with balaclavas have turned up.
Pause,
Okay.
pause. Let me fix it.
The camera's totally off.
Wait, it's not that bad.
Okay. That's funny.
You ready, lads? Yeah, you ready?
That's as good
Okay,
as
so
it's
these
gonna be.
masked Antifa come at Tommy, and he's just
They're all
like
past me.
laughing.
No, get off. So what's happening? What's happening here is, lads, yeah? 20 lads with balaclavas have turned up, yeah? 20 lads with balaclavas have turned up. I'm 5 feet in front of them, and I'm fucking 5'6", and not one of them is doing anything. That's what's happening here. Look at them all. Look how many of them there are. Yeah, I'm here, all 5'6" of me. Look at the little 5'6" man, and there's fucking a bunch there's a bunch of absolute fucking wankers. You cowards.
I've not heard Tommy use this kind of language in a while. He must be pretty upset.
And fuck off. You fucking wankers. You pussies.
Wow, Tommy. Did you watch this through?
I did, but the point of it was that they wouldn't fight him. He just wanted. He's like, go ahead, just fight me. Go ahead, just fight me.
Do something. If I wanted to beat you up, I'll beat you up right fucking now. If I wanted to, I fucking would. You fucking
He has, and here's the thing. I think they really did push Tommy to a limit where, like, honestly, he's had to go into thug mindset. He's been in prison, and so I don't mind the curse words. They don't. He is literally. A curse word is for him. It's a sign of defense. Yeah. These people are coming at him, trying to attack him. I can't just like say, "Oh, seriously, Tommy, you're using bad words."
No. You're right. Here's the deal, and I view a curse word as kind of like a hit in the face. That's the way that I view it. That's just me. And so what you said makes total sense. If you can't actually hit somebody, you can't get into a fight with them, then you are going to use an expletive. Thank you. Whatever. At them, but because that's your way of hitting them. I get it.
He's put in jail.
I get it.
He is kind of a gangster, and I don't mind curse words. I don't mind them. I don't use them, but I don't mind them because I know it's a language of the people. It's a word, okay?
Right. Yeah, no, I just feel bad because we have children watching the show. That's all.
Well, then parents need to know that you're going to see this kind of stuff. You're going to see us. Some people use curse words, okay? That's their language.
Exactly.
All right? I'm going to finish the video.
Next time we'll just do like a, hey, this might be coming up for your children.
It didn't even dawn on me that there would be curse words. I mean, like, I watched it, but...
And you do fuck all. You coward.
To me, I just saw somebody being like, listen, you're cowards. You are cowards.
All that's going to happen. You're going to end up sleeping. That's all that's going to happen. Do something. Watch what happens. Yeah. Just don't get in the way of it.
You literally have 10 masked people coming at you. What do you do? Right. You're not allowed to carry a gun. You're not allowed to carry a knife.
You're not even allowed to carry mace, pepper spray.
Do you run? What do you do? I mean, seriously. So before I get to the good news, I don't know if, allegedly transgender prisoner gets life after raping 2 women and sexually assaulting inmates in a female jail.
read that article. I was so upset about that. If you're going to be a transgender and you're a criminal, okay, here's the deal. I get catering to transgenders in society, sort of, right? But as soon as you cross the line to being a criminal, you don't get to be catered to in our prisons. You are put in prison with people that are biologically the same gender as you because this guy raped 2 women in the women's prison because he was in the middle of transitioning. He's still, whether you want to be a woman or not, if you're a man, you have a man's body and you have a man's muscles. And so there are reasons why men are not in women's prisons because they can rape them. And so I'm sorry. You have a better chance of being okay in the male prison where you have your man muscles against another man's muscles. Gosh.
So I'm trying to find the article that I had. And
while you're looking for that, let me read this from Horatio. Just so you know, while you're still on air, today's emergency meeting in Brussels between Barnier and Rob, UK Brexit minister, has finished with no deal being reached after rumors a deal had been reached Tomorrow's scheduled EU Brexit meeting has been canceled. Thank you for that, Horatio.
Here's what I wanted. So I didn't want to bring up the Guardian. See this picture? The British Army is now investigating these soldiers who posed for a photo with Tommy Robinson. These young men here. A group of soldiers are under investigation by the British Army after posing for a photograph with citizen journalist and street organizer Tommy Robinson, with the force vowing to punish those involved.
No!
Britain's officer class received a stark and distinct reminder that the majority of the nation's fighting strength is drawn from white working class communities Tuesday, when a group of 24 uniformed soldiers bumped into Tommy Robinson at a motorway at a rest area. Service station. The young soldiers were traveling from the Catterick Garrison, the British Army's largest base, and had stopped at a motorway services, with some of the men seen in social media posts by Robinson clutching burgers and soft drinks. Left unattended by their officers, the men were reported to have met the English Defence League founder turned Islamic extremist campaigner, Tommy Robinson.
Hilton 1000 says Tommy has arranged legal representation for all the Army lads who are being
Class, eh?
My blood is
Makes it all worth it.
boiling. My blood is boiling. When you are a soldier, okay, you are not a mindless drone that says, Heil UK, we do whatever you say. You do not owe all of your allegiance. There are people that are U.S. soldiers that hate President Trump. There were U.S. soldiers, a lot more, that hated President Obama. You still fight for your country. You're allowed to hold to your beliefs. All right?
So
this is ridiculous.
The British Army released a statement on the incident shortly after, implying the military's view is that Tommy Robinson himself has a far-right ideology which is completely at odds with the values and ethos of the armed forces. Tommy Robinson issued his statement saying, Islam is not a race, and it is more than a religion. It is a political ideology, as we have seen in Pakistan, where they are literally going to
kill a woman for drinking water.
I have fairly central views and have not mentioned race in any form in over 10 years of activism. The British Army said, far-right ideology is completely at odds with the values and ethos of the Army. So,
stop right
did
there.
you not ever take a picture with anybody in a Muslim? Muslim has far-right. Muslims all have far-right ideologies, all of them.
Listen, a country is comprised of people that hold all sorts of beliefs, okay? There are communists in the United States. Granted,
there's communists in the UK Army.
You're allowed to have whatever political view you want to have and be a member of the armed forces in whatever country that is westernized. This is insanity at the highest level. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad right now.
The Times reports that results of this administration action can involve termination of service or reduction in rank, as well as a letter of censure that can delay promotion. It is thought the men will get equality and diversity training. It is literally backwards day, because Tommy Robinson is literally standing up against people who are intolerant, people who do bad things. And the fact that the government has made a stand that Tommy Robinson is such that you can't say anything, you can't support him at all. Such was the disappointment at the apparent social and political views. British soldiers, the Times called them stupid, and pillocks, a traditional English term for fool or idiot. The incident, which Army officers have clearly found extremely embarrassing, comes amid an ongoing campaign by the armed forces to appeal to potential soldiers from among minority communities. The Army is experiencing ongoing recruitment difficulties. I wonder why.
This is my favorite gift for when I'm angry. I'm just going to let it play.
Breitbart London reported in January on the new Army belonging to 2018 recruitment campaign, which moved away from the older style of recruitment videos showing men in warfighting situations, as well as enjoying leisure pursuits like sports, to highly stylized cartoons. In the new video shorts, Muslim recruits were reassured they would be allowed to practice Islam and have daily prayers, even on exercise. Another attacked the concept of Staudism, showing soldiers crying, reassuring that would-be recruits would not be told to man up or grow a pair in the forces.
Oh my goodness.
So don't worry, you will have a sissified army in no time. All right, Donald Trump, not a sissy. Actually, I'm going to go to this real quick. And then we're gonna end up with the freed pastor. Okay, Holly, stop. This is my friend Sydney. That's my friend Sydney. Okay. Before 2003, when Iraq was run by a secular government and women who dared to dress like women weren't being murdered. Okay. So women in Iraq are literally, like, high-profile women are just randomly being killed. Like, seriously. I'm not even kidding you. This is a woman here. This prominent Iraqi model and Instagrammer is receiving death threats for daring to be visible in a conservative country. They said, you will be one of the Thursday victims. In Iraq, Thursday has become a bloody day. Michelle, she's stuck on the cord here.
Okay, hang on.
She said, hang on, back up here. After a close friend and Instagram star Tara Fares was shot dead in her car on a Thursday in September, Asra decided to leave Iraq. Recently, a series of prominent Iraqi women have died. This one was shot. This beautician was found dead in her home. This plastic surgeon here died under mysterious circumstances. The Iraqi woman is targeted because of freedom. There are some people that do not want women to have freedom to speak or wear. Yeah, read that.
What she wants and work, because we now have an important role and our voices are being heard. How safe are women in Iraq?
The attacks on women were not singular incidents. They are connected to each other, and incidents, if we may call them like that, they continue.
Yanar Mohammed talked to us from the airport just before boarding a plane to leave Iraq for safety reasons.
Killings have been done against women who revealed their bodies, revealed their faces, were outspoken in women's rights, women who did not submit to the conventional Islamic ways which the Iraqi government is forcing on the people.
The situation of women in Iraq has worsened since 2003, when Islamist groups and their views regained, in recent years, Islamist Party, to legalize marital rape, and allow the marriage of girls from the age of 9.
All the women in Iraq are now
she's
under attack.
speaking English.
That women should not be in public forums.
Reactions to the killings are mixed, while many are devastated and outraged.
Other parts of the society actually blame the women. A national TV host called Tara Fares a whore.
Killings are followed by a wave of smearing the reputation of the victim. In every case, the public is told that the woman was either promiscuous and killed by her husband, or that she was a drug addict or she was moving drugs from one place to the other.
The Prime Minister has ordered an investigation, but in a country suffering from corruption, that's just not going to happen.
Now to the good news.
If you say anything against that, you can be in serious trouble. All right. Pastor Andrew Brunson has been released from Turkish prison. I'm going to start here with Reverend Franklin Graham.
He wouldn't be here. He'd still be in prison. And he may have spent the rest of his life in prison if it hadn't been for President Trump. Brunson was falsely accused. And the Turkish courts are stacked against Christians. This is a Muslim country, and it's becoming more and more radical Islamic. And we're seeing many Christians in prison in Turkey and suffering very much at the hands of this regime. So it's President Trump, no question, that has gotten this wonderful pastor, Andrew Brunson, back to the United States. And we have a personal note. Andrew Brunson is from the same town that I grew up in, Montreat, North Carolina,
amazing.
And the Black Mountain area. And they attend the same small church, Presbyterian church, that I grew up in. I don't know Andrew Brunson. I've never met him, and I'm looking forward to that. But we are connected through a small little town here in western North Carolina.
Wow. So he was in Turkey. He was actually serving as a missionary in Turkey. And during that failed coup, he was caught up and arrested. The Turkish government said that he was, trying to overthrow the government, which he wasn't.
Right.
And Obama didn't do anything for him.
No.
But Trump has been getting people
How is
free.
he doing it? Because Trump is unafraid to impose sanctions on these countries. Like he has, okay, so Obama, you got a pen and a phone, okay? Trump is doing more with sanctions, with like, I'm the big guy with a big stick and I will thump it on your head if you don't do the right thing.
Right.
It's not about a pen and a phone. Carry on.
This is Donald Trump tweeted this out. Welcome home, Pastor Brunson. It was a big day.
And then he prayed for him.
We're going to play that prayer. On behalf of the American people, welcome home. So here we have this one. There's this prayer.
Pour out your Holy Spirit on President Trump, that you give him supernatural wisdom to accomplish all the plans you have for this country and for him. I ask that you give him wisdom on how to lead this country into righteousness. I ask that you give him perseverance and endurance and courage to stand with truth. I ask that you protect him from slander from enemies, from those who would undermine. I ask that you make him a great blessing to this country. Fill him with your wisdom and strength and perseverance. And we bless him. May he be a great blessing to our country. In Jesus' name, we bless you. Amen.
It's so great. It's so powerful. Here you've just been released from Turkish prison, and you decide to bless the president. You decide to pray for him. That's incredible to me.
Turkish prison to the White House in 24 hours. That's not bad. Actually. And I want to start by saying that Noreen was unbelievable. She was calling and calling. She definitely loves you. Let me put it that way. But she was calling and she wanted you out. And she was not playing games, right? And we're very proud of you, Noreen. Thank you very much. And you are very, very special to all of us. And you know, we have some of our great leaders right here. You know James, you know Cindy, you know Richard, you know Tom, you know Patrick, you know Mark, and all of these people, and right back here, a whole group of people, they fought so hard for you. They wanted you out. And again, we've been negotiating long and hard. We do not pay ransom in this country, at least any longer. We won't pay ransom. Otherwise, you have big problems, and lots of things will happen, and lots of bad things will happen. But I want to thank President Erdogan. We've been dealing, and we actually, until this, we had a very good relationship. I was actually very surprised that we didn't work this out a couple of months ago. But it started in a different administration, and they were not going to work out anything. And we took it over, we inherited it, and we have, I think, at this moment, gotten 19 different people out of various countries.
So I am so excited. This is so awesome that Donald Trump, he in his speech, he also was saying how there's been so many people set free. You know, the Korean prisoners, things like that. So I'm going to see what the rest of the world is saying about Pastor Andrew Brunson as Michelle takes a dog potty. Let's see here. Trump says there was no deal made with Turkey for the release and return of Pastor Andrew Brunson. I don't make deals for hostages. There was, however, a great appreciation on the behalf of the United States, which will lead to good, perhaps great relations between the United States and Turkey. And this is Donald Trump being a politician, and that I don't think I would have the stomach to do, because I know that Erdogan has a Islamic government, and he imprisons people of conscience, and news reporters, and Donald Trump finds a way to smooth out those edges of dictators in a way that is pretty amazing to watch, actually. Big day. Pastor Andrew Brunson, who could have spent more than 35 years in a Turkish prison, has returned safely home to his family today. Met in the Oval Office. Great people. Then off to Kentucky. Yesterday there was a rally in Kentucky. Rand Paul had a rousing speech. Judge Jeanine Pirro says she doesn't know how to open the door.
Matt's down there.
Okay. But she still doesn't know how to go through the doggy door.
Yeah, but he knows.
Okay. I would like to congratulate President real Donald Trump on bringing back Pastor Andrew Brunson. A strong president makes for a strong America. So, yay, thank God that he's back, and that was a big thing. Everybody's been praying for that. So.
I missed what he said about Erdogan. What did he say? He said, I thought we had a good relationship up until now.
And now we're going to have a good relationship now.
Okay.
While you were gone, I was telling the audience, I don't think I could do this because, like...
I could never have a good relationship with Erdogan.
Right.
I can't be the president.
Yeah, exactly.
I cannot do it. I actually had a dream last night that President Trump was a pastor and a president. Like, as the president, he was a pastor, and he was at a church. And he was giving a sermon, and he was standing behind the pulpit, which at this specific church, you were supposed to stand behind a pulpit. And he literally says to the pastor of the church, like, because he was like a guest speaker.
If you're wondering, Michelle has cowboy hat earrings on. That's why I was like, oh, earrings, interesting. Cowboy hat.
Anyway, he's like, can I not stand behind the pulpit? Because, like, I need to move around. And he's getting down. He's, like, praying for people. And it was really a fascinating dream. All right. So I do want to end with Sean and Tracy's video. And it's 10 minutes long. I haven't seen it yet. So let me grab. I asked Sean if it was okay. And he said yes. So let me grab the link here. And I'm going to throw this up. Sean and Tracy went... to Germany, and then we may have time for the Trump thing. If not, we'll do it again. Yeah. Here, wait. Pause. Let me switch this over. I'm the tech team, so if it's bad, it's all on me. Wait, let me rewind it because they had said something at the beginning. This September, we visited Bavaria, Germany. Hang on, Sean, it's too little fast. Hang on. A few video and photos of our journey. All right, here we go.
Hello everyone. This is our video blog that we're going to do for Germany now. Now, we're not in Germany yet, we're still in our living room, and I'm here on my laptop looking at the weather for Munich, and I'm watching the Resistance Chicks on the telly right now live at 3:25 a.m.
Oh my gosh.
They've already mentioned my name. I don't know, sorry. And yes, we should be doing more videos like this very soon.
They started out with leaving us on the screen.
Stay tuned. See you soon.
Bye.
Getting ready for takeoff. Get ready for takeoff. Next stop, Cincinnati. Not yet.
Oh, stop it. He says next stop, Cincinnati.
Skyline Park. It's lovely here. It's a bit cold, but the sun's really warm. Yeah, we went on that ride earlier, that new one. And all that over there, there's a globe on top. There's a lovely waterfall just right here at the moment. It's quite wet. Everyone's on lunch at the moment, so we've got another 10 minutes before anything else opens. But we're about to go on some more rides. You should see me on now, screaming like a girl. I can't do heights like I used to. But it's great fun. It's very good.
This is so fun. This is so much fun. Like, I feel like I'm there with you.
So those were the bells to tell us that lunch hour is now finished. Sean has just got onto the log flume, and because of my back, unfortunately I can't do any of these lovely rides, but he's having a whale of a time. I don't think that's what he's doing. He's over there somewhere. But when I get to see him up there, actually I think I might walk closer to the water so that the feet get wet. So we decided to do the Ferris wheel, as it's the one ride I can do quite safely, and the nice man controlling it has decided to stop it right at the top. And it's not very nice up here, it's very cold.
I'm feeling it.
It's too cold.
Someone throw a shoe down.
No. Oh. But you get a lovely view of everywhere, I guess.
It really is beautiful.
It's my fault. He saw me trying to get my camera.
Look how pretty Tracy is.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to go on a ride. This one's for old ladies and people like me. Oh, we got a little band coming up.
Tracy on a ride, very unusual.
I'll be able to hear you while
Cincinnati
the
is a sister city to Germany. Cincinnati was it's very German, and we have Oktoberfest as well.
Right.
Oh, he said, they're just going around in troops, aren't they? Group of policemen.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. It's so beautiful.
Wow.
We're going in the tunnel now.
We go into the big gold elevator.
Okay.
We call it a lift.
Those people are really racist.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Sean. Just want to do a lovely panoramic view. And then someone stood right next to you.
Oh my gosh.
There it is, Eagle's Nest.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Oh my goodness. Ah!
All of that. So behind the bricked wall, access to Hitler's house and private rooms. You can't go in there.
Hello, you there? It's not in.
He's not in. Come all this way and he's not in.
Leave it to Sean and Tracy to have a sense of
Standing here. Oh, you see the blood splatter all over here? Look, right behind you.
Is there really? Oh yeah, look, it's loads of it. No, there isn't.
It's faded over time, see?
That's not going to be there. They'd have painted it
I'm
white.
just playing, come on now. Work with me.
These ones.
Berghoff area, dear Obersalzberg visitors. You are here at the centre of the former Führer's Oblivix area. In 1928, the rented a small hunting house here, which he bought in 1933. Until 1936, it enlarged into a pompous Berghoff. Berghoff was damaged in a British air raid on the 25th of April 1945 and set on fire by the Obersalzberg SS a few days later. The US military government ordered the ruin to be blown up in 1952. The only fragment preserved today is the supporting wall and the southern slope. The Obersalzberg was not only Hitler's private country retreat, but also served as the second centre of power of the German Reich alongside the official capital Berlin. Hitler spent more than a third of his time in power here. Important political discussions, negotiations were conducted here, and incisive decisions were made, which led to the catastrophes of the Second World War and the Holocaust, caused the death of millions. More extensive information available in documentation over Salzburg.
So that wall there is the wall that's left, right?
Wow.
Wow.
So his fireplace there. So this is the fireplace here. There's not much left of it at all, is there? That's the wall that they just said was the last one that's left on the balcony of the Burcon. That this is the view that we would have seen. Sean and I fell in love with and decided that's not. And that's the hard area that the garage would have. So you're going to be standing on the garage area, yeah? Okay. So if we go behind that wall and round the corner, there's that secret entrance to the tunnel. No, you won't find it there. It's right over there, and you follow it down, and then there's a railway line that takes you out to. No, there is not. Wow. You gonna be okay getting up there? Let me video you falling down though.
You're doing a really good job filming because it really, yeah, I can like see it's really crisp.
I don't think they were they? Just seem to be.
All these trees, we go behind all these trees here. To the back wall, that's the back of the house. The white stone over there is the fireplace. All these trees have grown up in the last 70 odd years. So they've been a huge house.
The walls go right along there.
2 or 3 stories well.
Huge place. Yeah. But all gone now.
You don't live here now. All in behind, mate. It's fine to be comfortable. I'll throw another one.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
Well, that's awesome. I think that was might have been one of the pictures I had up.
Oh, look how cute they are.
Oh,
look at that.
Wow.
Amazing.
Beautiful walk here. Really hot actually. You get the snow on that mountain over there.
So pretty.
Hello. I hope you've enjoyed our little Bavarian trip. We've had a wonderful
We
time.
did.
It's been
Yes.
so much fun. We hope you enjoyed this lovely little video that we've done. We hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye. Cheers.
Oh my gosh. Of course we enjoyed watching it. Thank
I should
you.
have put Sean and Tracy's Bavarian trip in the title.
It's so fitting. I don't know if you guys planned it that way or not, for us to have that. Now, Horatio had said in the comment section that Merkel, her party, she has historically ruled in these elections and came in 5th.
Crazy.
So that's fantastic. Well done, Sean and Tracy. Thank you guys for putting that together. He literally sent me a message this morning saying, I've got this video and I didn't know that it was going to be showcased for Bavaria. It's perfect for today. So I'm so glad that we got to go along with you because we had asked them to do something of that kind
I love it.
for us. So thank you.
I'd love to do a song that we have. That was our song.
That was our song. It was so well done. It had music in the background.
I loved it.
Just
Sean,
felt...
you did a fantastic job. Tracy, the views are amazing. You guys, it was really fun. And it just showcased exactly what we want to showcase on our show, which is the beauty that is Europe.
Right.
And why it should be preserved.
Okay, so actually Sean tells me there is, let me switch over to this Austrian traffic jam that she took. It's on her page right here.
Oh my gosh.
No, oh dude.
Yeah.
I'm
Look
watching
at
an
these
Austrian
cows.
chocolate channel.
Listen to the bell.
They're still
Hey,
coming.
man.
Tracy had sent this to me, and I forgot.
Wow. Hello, you.
This is so great. It's so absolutely great.
That is awesome.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to sign off here. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks to our moderators who are here today. I hope that you guys have a very, I'm sorry the camera's still cockeyed. I hope that you have a very blessed rest of your Sunday, for what's left of it, for you guys in the UK and around the world. But we love you. God loves you. God bless. I want to make it an official apology, even though I did an apology video about the technical difficulties that we were having at the Trump rally. We're going to actually play that Trump video again the next time we go live. We're going to just start out with that again because it was just really fun.
Okay, remember, if you didn't see it, our video did not work videoing, recording in the building.
Right.
But afterwards, we were on InfoWars with Millie. Millie had said, hey, let's hook up at the rally. Are you guys going to be there? And we're like, yeah, we're going to be there. And we didn't see her. She didn't call. She's going to call. We didn't. We're like, okay, that stinks. We didn't get any recording. We didn't hook up with Millie, blah, blah, blah. And
she's like, hey, I'm getting ready to go on live in 15 minutes.
We're going out. We're like, Michelle's like, that's Millie. I was going to pass her up. I didn't know it was Millie. And Michelle's like, that stands out. That's Millie. And so, yeah, we hung out in the rain. It was so cool. There was Blacks for Trump selling gear. I got myself a hat. Let me show you my hat.
Have you got a video of that with Millie? I will tell you what, Sean. The next time we go live, which we have so much to cover, and I'm sorry, we've been really, really, really busy.
Mom wants us to download it and upload it.
We will download it and upload it, but also I think we could play it on our show as well.
Yeah.
I know it's on InfoWars on BitChute, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I've shared it on Twitter. It's on InfoWars on BitChute, Ron Gibson. Okay, so as I'm leaving, the Blacks for Trump. Make America great again. I saw people with these hats on. I was like, dude, it was so cold. I can't even tell you how cold it was, guys, because we literally went from 90 degrees and it was cold and wet. It felt like below sub-zero. It felt so cold. And there we are. There we go. It was so cold.
Here we are.
I love my new hat.
So there we are with Millie.
Love this fleece line new
It was freezing, by the way. You can go and catch how freezing it was on my apology
But the
video.
Blacks for Trump had their booth set up. They said, here, come under our booth. You can get out of the rain.
Yeah.
They set up an extra light. We had a good interview. I want you guys to see that interview, so we're going to play
Here's
it.
the deal, and I want to explain that to you guys. I think she had originally wanted to do an interview with us as Resistance Chicks, but what she needed at the end of the show was Trump supporters, and we are. And so that's the opinion that we gave with her. So we had a blast, even though it was freezing. Tim says I couldn't find the interview. It's Leah shared it on, did you share it just on Twitter or on Facebook? It was funny because the guy that runs BitChute's Twitter page saw us in the interview and tweeted out to Leah, hey girls, is that you on here? Which I thought was really awesome that he knows who we are. I guess, and found that there. So we
all right. So I want you guys. Ron Gibson has the election coverage 10:13 on BitChute. So I want you guys to go to BitChute. And what I love is Ron Gibson is really cool because he used to take all of Alex Jones's videos and break them up. But go to Ron Gibson's channel. And here is the band live midterm election coverage Saturday, 10:30. No, we want the Friday show. I guess it would have been. No, that would have come up.
Maybe that's when he uploaded it.
Yeah. Yeah. It would be. It was on this one. Because let me see. This is the one he shared. Yeah, it was Saturday. Band live midterm elections. Saturday 10:13 is it went in to so that's the one you want.
Well, I think we were at 9 o'clock, probably so like roughly an hour in.
But we're 9 minutes in on this.
Are we 9 minutes in on that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It takes a minute to get going, but we're gonna try to download it and upload it ourselves. on the
can hear
channel
my
so you
voice.
guys can see it.
That's who I am. I love
There
the
we
guy.
are, baby.
I mean, hell, he's literally doing exactly what he said he's gonna do. And if we're gonna be serious here, I mean,
Even they're
every other
pixelated
president,
because
I
it
mean,
was
look
just
at
not
the
a good
unemployment
place
rate.
out in
It's
Lebanon,
literally at the
Ohio
world's lowest.
for good
I mean, people was
coverage.
getting mad about this build the wall thing, but I always
All right,
tell
we don't have time to play the
truth.
whole thing.
sign
I would
off.
love it if we did, but we do have to sign off because we have puppies to go let out. We love you guys. God loves you. God bless. And yes, so what? That is the correct one. Props to Ron Gibson. Brett Hitchcock says, we're going to see you guys on Friday for sure at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard
Hopefully
Time.
sometime between
And
now and then.
hopefully our weekend extends through Monday of work. And then it lets up like roughly Tuesday, Wednesday. So we'll see what we can come up with there.
We have a P.O. Box.
107 Milford, Ohio 45150. If you want to send us your letters, we will read them on air.
We have two we need to read.
We do have two that we need to read, which hopefully we'll do that again soon. Deb says you should stream with RSBN, Right Side Broadcasting Network.
You know,
on Trump
everybody
rallies.
keeps saying that. I have not yet hooked up with them.
I will shoot them an email and get hooked up. Adeline's really been going hard at trying to get us connected with them, so we'll do what we can. We love you. God loves you. God bless. And remember,
it's not just a conspiracy theory
if it's the truth. All right. Good night, guys.
I was cold.